So, what's on the list today? What's on the list today? Not much from my side, actually. Anyway, welcome to today's Orchestration meeting. So I'm still working on my pull request 31021. That's about having a kind of a drive selection out of drive groups. Kiefer, would be really great if you could do a review of that one.
I will do it.
Because as soon as this one is merged, we can look into having previews of drive groups in the dashboard.
Yeah, and I will also test it.
So I've added a bunch of unit tests for that one, but there is no real use of that code right now. So I guess you will having a hard time actually making use of that pull request right now. Anyway. Yeah. So I will really focus on getting those two pull requests merged. The other one is the Ceph volume inventory thingy that needs to be cleaned up. Kiefer, how is Orchestration going?
Still waiting for a review from other dashboard member.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to already wait for previews, or do you want to get that merged and then doing another pull request for OSD creation previews in the dashboard?
I think the preview will in another pull request.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So we're not waiting on each other here. Great.
And also I created a PR today to link the Python common code. Because we are start to add more code in this module, if you don't mind. Let's make our code look beautiful.
Yeah, that's great. It's pesky, but yeah, let's do it. Tim, how's it going?
I'm not sure I've got anything particularly useful to report at the moment. I've been slightly stuck on some non-orchestrated downstream stuff. I will hopefully have something slightly more useful than that to say in the coming days.
Okay.
Because I think I've gotten rid of the last little piece of that other unrelated work now, finally, this evening. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I,
Latest. Yeah, go on.
I was going to, I forget if I mentioned last time or not, I was going to try to do some of the orchestrator stuff is sort of dependent on changes that we're making to how Deep C operates. Service deployment and everything is sort of a little bit dependent on changes to Deep C, but there's other things that I can do like, I don't know, listing hosts and that sort of thing, which is just talking to Salt. And so less dependent on Deep C implementation details that I should be able to hopefully make swift progress on. So
That's great. Waiting for another check mark in the list of things to do.
Yep.
So SSH orchestrator, Joshua and Sage are working on it right now. So Joshua wants to. Joshua?
Yes, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Actually, I should probably figure this webcam thing out and introduce myself. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Hi, nice to meet you guys. I hope you don't mind that I took the liberty of joining this call.
Yes, please.
So I'm Joshua Hesketh. I'm with SUSE. I've just joined the storage team here. So I'm still getting my head around everything, all the components and how everything kind of works together. So I'm not working on anything in particular at the moment, just learnings. The intention is for me to help out with Rook and some of the containerization efforts of Stez.
Okay. Yeah, welcome to the team.
Yeah,
thank you.
Welcome.
So this. Oh, sorry, Sebastian.
I'm wondering how can I help you? Do you have a clear picture of what the orchestrator component is actually?
No, I don't. I was hoping to learn through some osmosis.
Yeah, have a look at the orchestrator modules documentation. Moment.
Yeah, we've got a name collision here because we've got Joshua Schmidt on also with SUSE on Deep C stuff, and Josh Hesketh also from SUSE.
Yeah, we have to keep them apart.
Yeah, sorry, I add to the problem. You can call me Josh if that helps, or make up a name. I don't mind.
Do we call Joshua Schmidt also Josh? I don't think so.
He tends to be Joshua or Joshua, depending upon how you pronounce the J. But either way, it's a full word.
Yeah. So Josh should be kind of unique. Still. So we already also have another Sebastian in the team. But he's mostly working on the dashboard front-end part. Yeah, have a look at the documentation. So very brief. We have defined an orchestrator interface, which is kind of an interface for stuff like create OSDs, deploy new services, remove services, give me a list of all services running on that on the underlying cluster. And the purpose of the orchestrator is basically to build a bridge between the Ceph cluster itself and the thing that deploys Ceph, like for example Rook or DeepC or Ceph deploy or a thing called SSH orchestrator. And the orchestrator interface is basically an interface where every different orchestrator backend can implement that interface. And this way we can actually implement deployment tasks in the Ceph dashboard, talking to the orchestrator, and then we have kind of modules, like connection modules, like the Rook module that then talks to Rook to deploy new services. That's a small introduction into what the orchestrator is.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. So the intention is for Ceph to remain deployment agnostic, if I understand it correctly. And this interface will allow a way for Ceph to make requests to the deployment tooling where it needs.
Yeah. So I think there are a handful of tools to deploy Ceph. Plus stuff that is built internally by some companies or by some users. So
And
there
is
is no.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on, please.
Is this going to be a requirement for deployers or deployment tooling to implement?
No.
Okay.
But if you want to have dashboard support, then you have to.
Okay.
And the dashboard is basically the de facto way to have a UI for Ceph. And yeah, your dashboard experience will be kind of limited if you don't have a backend for that one.
Yeah. So the dashboard is sort of Kiefer, for example, is adding features to the dashboard so that you could deploy new OSDs from that GUI, and that has to go through an orchestrator module. So if you've got a deployment tool that doesn't have an orchestrator module, you won't. I mean, you can still use your deployment tool to create new OSDs somehow, however that deployment tool works, but you won't be able to do it through the inbuilt Ceph dashboard because there's no orchestrator module for it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and for example, you control Rook by modifying custom resources in your Kubernetes cluster. And that's exactly how the manager module for Rook does it. So we are talking to the Kubernetes API and creating or modifying Rook custom resources.
Oh, so this is something that it's already doing?
Yes. Okay. Is there anything left for today? Okay, then that's it basically. Yeah, enjoy your day and have a nice evening for you guys in Australia and Taiwan.
Thanks, guys.
Have a nice
Thank you.
day.
See ya.
See you.